All right, let's see if we're working here. 1 second. All appears to be well. Thanos number 17. That's actually probably like 18 or 19. I did some painting when I was offline. Didn't really feel like chit-chatting. Bug in here. Yeah, I got him. Nope. There he is. Oh, got him that time. I don't normally like squishing bugs if I don't have to. That guy was entirely too small. There's no way I'd be able to capture him and deal with it. But you know what? I think I'm just gonna soak all these brushes in some airbrush cleaner. Tall vertical cup, that would come in handy for doing this. Matter of fact, I don't need such a big basin. Let's get a smaller one. Because I need height, not width. That's good. It's gonna get, I assume. There we go. Airbrush cleaner. We're gonna put it over here on the side. All of our brushes in there for a second. Get a few minutes to soak. That should be clean. That's my pen line, my liner brush. I do really like that brush. I suppose I should have thought about setting those up to soak overnight, but whatever. All right. Spread my parts out a little bit. Kind of getting in my own way here. I'm glad I buy these microfiber cloths in bulk because I go through a lot of them, as you can see. Mixer, washer, dryer. Set up. So I was painting this last night and I realized I need to paint that black, and that black. Everything that's going to be chrome or gold, I'm base coating in black first so that the red doesn't mess with it. I was watching Endgame again this morning, just to make sure, or just to see what I could see. Most of his back is black in the movie, so I'm gonna add a little bit more black in here. I think I'm definitely gonna paint the spinal part, like these flexible parts. Those should be black. So I'm probably gonna black out all of this. And I may black out these insets, these inlays in the top up here. I feel like that's probably a good idea. All these inset spaces, I'm probably gonna black those out. Maybe I may black out this entire No, I want that. I want all that to stay or stay gold. So black, yeah, black out the recesses, black out some like this. So continuing on with the black, then I'll do the gold. I'll do all the gold touch up, and then the rest I'm going to do chrome over here. I got to finish blacking out the fingers. His fingers are gold in the reference material. A lot of this internal stuff is going to be chrome. This is where the gauntlet has like expanded open. So I'm probably going to do these insets as chrome. Definitely all this internal stuff is chrome. So a lot more paint. To my chagrin. Oh yeah, that's a really nice metal chrome. Still not quite as reflective as I want it to be. It's not quite the mirror. There's this bottle I keep seeing it on my Facebook page. This bottle of liquid like metal, like a mirror chrome finish, and it shows the dude just putting it on with a brush. It's $50, a little tiny bottle. Maybe a bigger bottle, maybe something like that, but still, $50. I'm like, I want that desperately, but I don't know if I want to pay that kind of money for it. So I'm going to wait until I have a project to use it on, like a Silver Surfer or something like that, which I do desperately want to do a Silver Surfer too, which would look probably pretty awesome in my one of my quarter scale slots. But yeah, some nice mirror chrome on hand would be ideal. All right, let's see here. What am I looking for? I need probably, it's number 3. That'll do. It's got a pretty good end on it. I hope these brushes sitting like this aren't gonna get all weird, more bent up than they already are. Like having the weight of the brush on the tip like that just bends the bristles. Maybe after they soak for a while, it loosens up the paint in there. That'll help. Oh, I don't like this 3. Gotta rattle. Oh, I gotta paint here. Paint here. That, I need a 1. That's a 2. That might work. Let's see if we can find that. 0. Here's a 0. Yeah, let's go. Virgin 0. This is a completely unused brush. I suppose first we gotta mix up a little black, don't we? Love that paint shaker. Definitely one of the best things I have purchased for the hobby. Mixing brush, I suppose I can add some too. Alright, I don't care how much about. I'm gonna knead it. Alright, let me see. Next, ready to go. Let's get into it. Shake. Sometimes the little metal parts come loose. This is brand new, so it shouldn't be, but we need more light. I actually had to get in here with my magnifying glass last night. Paint all these little internal parts around the jewels and stuff. Still need to put some ink on those too. Brush is too straight. Such a thing. I'm used to compensating for crookedness. I keep coming in at off angles. So just dead on. Nice little brush. Yeah, I like that. It's not good for coverage, but it's good for getting in little nooks and crannies. As I was shutting down last night, working on this, I painted these 3 little dots on these. I painted dots on the spots that I needed to remember to come back and hit, because I was looking at it after I shut down and noticed these things, and I didn't want to miss them again. Just mark them real quick. I think I'm going to do a small amount of battle damage on this gauntlet. I don't want it to be too clean, but at the same time, like, this gauntlet doesn't see much action, you know what I'm saying? Not as much as the Infinity Gauntlet. It does get kicked around quite a bit. So I'll put some scuffs and stuff in there. And this one I gotta remember to do the greedy gold, because this is the Stark, this is Tony's gauntlet, so, or the one that he used those materials. So this gold is going to be slightly different than his armor gold. Although there is going to be, I am going to do the greedy gold on his little trim pieces on the top parts of his armor. So there's going to be a nice little continuity. It's like all these little inlay parts, spots are going to be chrome. Hey, what's up, Dean? Thank you, thank you. It is coming along. It's doing something. When I first looked at this, I was like, oh yeah, it's only a couple colors, you know, it's not going to be that hard. Boy, was I fooling myself. It's not that it's difficult, it's just there's a lot of like little details that I got to make sure to get. Oh, it's 2. Actually, no. Do I have another one? My other number 1 is soaking at a 0. That's not enough coverage. A 3. All right, let's try this 2. I had to let my number 1s and number 3s that I've been using in this black, I had to let them soak. They had so much paint dried up in them, I just figured it'd be easier to just chuck them in some airbrush cleaner. So I'm giving those a few minutes to release some of that paint. Let's see. I need to try to. I do need to get better at this, like long arm brushing. You know, where it's like if I choke up on the brush too much, I'm making shadows and I can't see what I'm doing. Or like in this particular case, I need reach. Your movements are just so much more exaggerated when you're this far down the brush. But I do need to get better at it. It's a little easier to paint sometimes, and you know, if you can get a steady hand. I mean, I suppose that's a universal statement. If you got a steady hand, it's easier to paint no matter where you're holding the brush, right? But my problem is I keep holding my breath when I'm doing it. So it's like I can see my heartbeat at the end of my paintbrush. It's like it just bounces. So I need to quit doing that. Can't decide if the inside flat part should also be like gold or something. I think it has to be. Yeah, I think it has to be. In that case, and do this as I go. Yeah, like I said, I think it's for me it's just remembering to breathe. If I'm breathing at a slow, steady pace, then and I'm not holding my breath, then it's usually okay. But if I try holding it or holding it for too long, then I start getting the shakes. And also, I think it helps to have, like, if your hand is free floating, then your model needs to be on the surface. If your model is floating, then your hand needs to be on the surface. You can't have both floating at the same time, because then you're just jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. So, and then the ideal position, I think, is to have, a stable model and also stabilize your hand. Haven't quite mastered that yet. But that's why I got these little I got these little wrist guards, so to just kind of rest on. I bought a couple of them, and they're good for elbows and wrists and giving you a little height, but still some stability. And they're comfortable, so all that helps. Oh, hey. I don't know. Are you if you're a resin printer and you have any experience with what's it called, Rhino resin cleaner? I'd like to have your opinion, because I'm considering getting some, and because it says it cleans resin off of anything, and so it would be nice to be able to clean up my my wash and cure station. Well, actually, that's probably already cured in there, so I probably can't clean that. But I could clean up my machine a little bit, clean up my resin cabinet and stuff. I'm just curious if that is any good. I know some people actually wash their parts in it. I feel like that would get expensive once it starts getting dirty. But I saw this thing where they were just putting it in a spray bottle and just spraying down the machine, and I was like, on the LCD screen and stuff. Not spraying it like they were hosing it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, they just sprayed some on a towel and kind of wiped everything down. It's like, that might be worth looking into. So yeah, if anybody out there has an opinion on the Rhino resin cleaner, I would love to hear it. I'm also considering doing a video on products, the things that I have bought for this hobby that I really wish I would have bought earlier, like this paint shaker thing, these little silicone cups, just stuff like that. I'm considering just doing a little product video on that, because I've had a lot of people ask me about stuff. My little hand drill, a little power sander thing. I just acquired a rechargeable air blower thing. That thing is fucking awesome. That thing just rips ass, man. It's just, it goes hard. So you have to be careful with it, actually, because I used it to dust. I use it on my dusting day to dust my statues, and parts of the statues would catch the air, and like cable shield, it was like a sail. It was I almost broke it off. So that was a fun learning experience. But it's also really good, not only for cleaning, blowing your area off and stuff, but just when you take your prints out of your alcohol bath or out of your alcohol wash, you can use the air gun to just blow it clean and dry, and then you can go right to your cure station. previously I just had to leave stuff overnight or even a couple days sometimes until it was all dry and ready to go again. Alcohol evaporates fast, but it's if it's trapped up inside of it, it takes a little while to drain and get cleaned out. Anyway, point being is that with the air gun thing, you can just speed that whole process along. I like that. All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks for the input, Dean. I'm gonna consider doing it because, yeah, like I said, I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, man, I wish I'd had some of this stuff like earlier. Had I known about it, but I didn't really know about like that paint shaker thing. I didn't really know about it until I saw somebody else's YouTube and they were using one, and I was like, holy shit, that's a great idea. I didn't even know anything like that existed. Towel. Maybe we'll get it. I got it. The problem with this, not problem, but the situation with this alumina or the chrome with the ink over top is that you can't paint over it. So even though, and I've sealed it, but you can't paint over it again. Like you could do chrome and ink, but there's going to be like a thick spot. It's kind of like a one-shot deal. So as I'm painting, if I make a mistake, I have to immediately, which is a good habit anyway. I should get in the habit of that. But sometimes I just determine that it's easier to go back and repaint stuff than it's going to be to try to wash it, But with this particular setup, I don't have that same option. So I have to take my time. At least this, whenever I go back to paint gold in there, I only have to hit the high spots. It'll make it a little easier. Unless, of course, I mess it up and then I got some cleanup to do. But oh yeah, the tips of these, I noticed these are gold. Right now, yeah, everything that's chrome or gold, I'm just blacking out. I love all the little details. That's my favorite part. Just all the little minute things that really give a statue its character, At this size, you definitely want to make sure you get all those little details. I'm glad I rewatched Endgame so I could see the back of his armor. Because I was just going to leave it kind of gold like that. And nobody's going to, I mean, it's the back of the statue, literally, so I'm not even really going to see it that much, but I want it to be as accurate as I can make it. And there's a lot more black on his back than I had originally thought, so I'm glad I looked it up, or I'm glad I watched. Okay, this one, his gold is covered. Right, so I think all the inside of the gauntlet is going to be gold. And honestly, this kind of work is exactly when having a hook on the end of your brush comes in handy. You work around all these little weird shapes, get into little nooks and crannies. I do enjoy a nice quiet Saturday, I have to say. Just some peace and quiet. So I got a little bit of paint on those transparent spots there. I'll deal with that later. Get these fingies painted. let that dry and then come back and see if I need to touch it up again. It's hard to see what's painted and what's not because of the glossiness of this black. There's just so much light bouncing around in there. I can't tell what is like what's reflection and what's just mist color, mist spot. I have to let it dry. Even when it's dry, it's still pretty shiny, which is nice. It should make for a really nice metallic, sort of base coat. That's as good as that needs to be. Lot to paint. Just so much little weird geometry to get around, you know, like so many little inset spaces that need to be painted. I'm gonna have to go back and do this all again with gold and chrome. This is just a base coat. At least it comes off easy. That is one added benefit. This metal base that I'm painting on, super slick. So even when the paint's dry, it comes right off. I gotta seal it after I get the gold and chrome on there. Then I'll go back and do the inks. Actually, I could do that. Yeah, I'll do the gold, the chrome, ink the gems, and then I'll seal it. Then if I want to do any like battle damage or chipping or anything like that, I will. Like I said, I'm not gonna. I want this to be kind of a shiny metal look. I don't want it to be too dingy, but at the same time, I'm gonna run some panel liner down in here to help separate some of this redness. I just don't want it to look dirty. You know what I mean? Like little tiny battle damage, yes, but for the most part, this thing's pretty brand new, so I'm gonna keep it that way. Can't tell if I painted down there or not, but I assume I did. Let's see. Just gonna paint this like a Jedi. Use the Force. I can't see what I'm doing. All right, a little bit more. Oh yeah, I gotta paint this little band here. It has it's not quite a leathery brown, but it's like a soft padded kind of tan color. Sucks. I want that off. Oh well. Give it a battle damage. Give it a little battle damage right there. Gotta be more careful. check some reference material real quick. Can't tell what's going on the back side, but should be good enough. Actually, I want to paint those inset parts right there. I'll make chrome and gold. Make this little thin parts gold. This will look metal, nice. Excuse me, just go by. It's like a Whataburger. It's delicious. All right. Got those little spaces blacked out. I think that's the end of that. I need a larger brush. This airbrush cleaner is doing. Feels like it's a little more supple. Oh yeah, definitely got that paint out of there. Clean as a whistle. Nice. Wow, it's like a brand new brush. I'll have to do that more often. All right, so we just learned something today. Airbrush cleaner, letting your brush soak for a few minutes. Cleans that shit right up. I think it even got rid of, yeah, it even got rid of some of the curl at the end of the bristles. Let's see if I can not load it back up again. Alright, so I'm going to do this inside part, all these little things. I'll have to get a round brush to get down in there. Let's just use this big one to get all these big flat surfaces. That first coat always looks rough. It bothers me sometimes, but I know it's just the process now. Oh yeah, these parts. The long arm brush technique also lets you see what you're doing a little bit easier. I definitely got to get better at this. It feels unnatural at first. I suppose everything feels unnatural at first. Need a round brush to get up in there. The other side should be pretty well dry. Round brush so I can go splunking. These little crevices are pretty deep. mixed up the perfect amount of black today. Just jam some in first. Whoops. And slipped. And it was down in the recesses and didn't matter. Slop it around in here. Oh, I had to reach. Face all in the camera. Yeah. Big old head. Alright. Jamming it down in there. Yes, I can. I can hit that bottom. Like I said, I was watching in-game today for some visual reference, and I'm really glad I did, because there's a lot more black on his back than I thought I was going to do. Wholly not necessary, but I want to get this as accurate as I can. Suppose I should try to do some of that. Get in there with this big ass brush. Switch to something small for a second. I'm definitely need something smaller. Just now. Real hard not to have to mix up any more black. I go and do something stupid like that. worth it. It's done. Oh, I suppose I should hit that. Yeah, let me get a couple drops of black. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, it's coming together, man. I'm just jamming this paintbrush down into these little nooks and crannies now. And I can go back and clean up all the little gold spots that I need to clean up. Lay down some chrome and some gold on the gauntlet. And then get it all sealed. Then I can do some weathering and wrap it all up. Good enough. Tells me that needs to be. Continue to break up this gold where I can. It is a lot. He is a shiny mofo. Oh man, now that I'm looking at it, these internal panels should also be blacked out. Alright. I'll come back. What was I doing? All right, right on, Steve. Glad it helps, man. That was my goal. I just wanted to be able to show beginners how to get going, how to get started. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I think I'm gonna do a like a product kind of review, like a product roundup kind of deal, because there's so many little gadgets and stuff that I have for the hobby that just makes things so much easier. Like this little paint shaker thing right here, little silicone cups. You know, I think they're for like making little dessert balls or something. But they're perfect for paints. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing a episode, like a video about. Thinking about doing a video about all the stuff that I have that I wish I'd known about sooner. You know, as a beginner. Yeah, so I'm probably going to look into that. Alright, I think that's good enough. Let me run a little bead down in here. You're not really going to see it. No, you know what? Second thought, that's not worth it. Alright, but I do need to catch those inlays and those shoulder blade thingies. So much little detail work. You don't really realize it till you get into it. I wonder, would it also, I mean, I don't want to become like a tutorial guy, you know, just like making tutorials. But at the same time, I want to like help people out. Would it, so my question is, if I did like a series of shorts, just like just little one-off shorts that aren't tied to a statue being painted, but just like a how to do dry brushing, you know, how to make a glaze, you know, how to use your airbrush, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, would that be beneficial? Would that be helpful? Would people be interested in that? You know, I feel like it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if I want to go to all the effort of, like I said, I'm not trying to directly be like a how-to kind of video stuff. Like when I do these summaries of the paint of the statues that I'm painting, you know, I don't always describe the techniques. You know, I'll show it, but I'll just kind of gloss over it or whatever. I don't know if it would just be like, if it would be popular if I just did like a series, like a beginner 101 kind of, or statue painting 101 kind of thing for beginners. I mean, I don't know. I know that I'm decent at painting. I know I'm not the best though. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm in a subject matter expert enough to be able to say, this is how you do it. You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that yet. Probably am, but I've seen these later. Okay, well, that's good. At least I know that, well, because like, I wonder, you know, the main statue guys in the space, you know, they have Discord channels where, you know, people pay a subscription or whatever, and I always wonder what's going on in there. you know. Again, I don't have a goal to like be monetized or anything like that. But I also think that like knowledge should be free. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind. I want to give it away, you know. Just trying to figure out a good way to package it, I guess. Because there's that whole intrinsic value thing too. It's like, if it's free information, is it any good? You know, where in your subconscious, it's like, I'm paying this guy's Discord subscription fee, so he must be, you know, giving me good stuff. So it's like, I understand, because I've been working in marketing for most of my life, but so I understand how I understand the mentality of the whole thing. But oh, okay, well that's good feedback. Thanks, Steve. So I mean, because yeah, I love I mean I love answering questions, you know, while I'm in the middle of doing something. You know, I do enjoy questions in the back and forth. I missed that. 1 second. There. I can go back in with some gold. Actually, I don't need to do that so bad here. On the gauntlet, I have to wash and rinse, but on this gold and black, I'm gonna go back over the gold areas anyway. So. Don't need to worry about it too much. I think I'm going to black this whole thing out back here now. Now that I decided to do this inset, it would just be easier to black this out and not worry about it. Let's do it. This is my Thanos. I'll do what I want. I just think everybody, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Everybody's trying to make a buck all the time, you know? And I get it. But at the same time, I'm tired of that. Tired of the hyper-capitalism and everybody trying to monetize everything. I know I probably could, but I don't want to. Yeah, I think that's kind of that's kind of where I'm at, Steve. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna do this anyway, so and as long as it's not taking away my joy from doing it, that's the thing. Is like I feel like if I tried to really get into making money on YouTube or making money doing this, I feel like it would suck the joy right out of it. Because then I'm gonna feel obligated to do it. You know what I mean? Like. Whereas now, it's like if I want to take a couple days off, I just do. I mean, I don't have any expectations on me, you know? But if I got paying customers, then I would feel bad if I'm not able to, quote-unquote, do my job, you know? And I don't want this to become a job, so. This is the last bastion of my sanity right here. This is where it lives. Get to turn off my brain, ramble on about some nonsense, paint my little comic book characters, and living the dream. Just living the dream, baby. Yeah, my whole my whole goal was to kind of just like, when I was in high school, we had a separate building for where the art students lived. We called it the art house. It was just like it was a little house that was on the school grounds. I think it was a house that was on the land when they bought the school, or the property for the school, and they just built the house. They built the school around it. But anyway, or maybe it got merged in at some later date. But we had an art house, and that was like my favorite place to be, because I could just work on my stuff, and everybody else is working on their stuff at the same time. So we're like separate but together, and just chit-chatting and shooting the shit and making jokes and working on our stuff and asking each other questions about what we're doing and how to get a better technique. And so I kind of wanted a digital version of that when I started this YouTube channel. And it's pretty much what's happening, and I'm very excited about that. Nice to just come on here with people of similar ilk and talk about things, because the people in my family don't care about this hobby. They're happy I'm happy, but they don't care that don't care anything about painting. So it's like, I don't have anybody I can talk to about this stuff, except for you, Steve, and Dean, and whoever else is on the channel. I'm not even looking at the list right now, but so yeah, it's been kind of nice. Last couple of years having this channel. Well, I guess it's been the last year. I don't even think I've been a year yet, actually. I have to see when I started this channel. Yeah, same. It's funny because I feel like the demographic that I have attracted is exactly copies of myself. Yeah, exactly. They roll their eyes and they're like, yeah, that's cool. And when I show them a finished statue, they're like, ooh, that's great. But the actual process of it, I mean, it's a month-long deal. It's not something to, it's not something to sneeze at. But yeah, the details of it, they don't give a shit about. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. I'm doing this for me. Because, like I said, I'm also in my mid-40s and just a grown-ass man, and I just decided that this is, this combination of things, like the 3D sculpture, the computer, part of it, the resin, the chemical part of it, the painting, the artistry, the technique, all of this stuff this is like in bits and pieces of my life. I've always been doing this, like in different things. And so to have it all in one thing, it's fantastic. Like, I can't even express how much I really just truly enjoy this hobby. And yeah, I mean, seriously, I really just can't say enough, because I'll just keep rambling on and on about how much joy it brings me. So, and now it's like, and now, like I said, just I've gotten to the point where I'm a grown ass man with some big boy money, and so I can just throw everything at it. You know, I can just throw my whole self into it. If there's a thing I want, buy it. You know, if there's a tool that I think I need or whatever, I just get it. I don't have to. I don't have to like worry so much about, you know, how much I'm spending on a hobby, because the return I get in my headspace and my feelings of, you know, just the day-to-day living, like, it's totally worth every penny that I spend. You know, and it's not even that bad. Like, once you get the equipment, you got it. You don't have to like buy it again. Like, once you build up a nice little workshop with all the shit you need, it takes a couple years. Oh, by the way, that sounded like existentially heavy. I'm not like in a bad place or anything. My life's pretty fucking good. I'm just saying that, like, doing this at the end of each day gives me an opportunity to just forget about my day. You know, I'm just like, it's very meditative, you know, just, you have to be present, you have to be focused. And even on days I don't feel like doing it, I give myself 5 minutes, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll do this for 5 minutes. Even before I don't even start a stream, I'll just get started. And after 5 minutes, if I'm still into it, then I'll you know, start a recording, I'll start a stream, and I'll just keep going. But I give myself an out some days, and yeah, it's just how I've decided to manage things. So, and I have to say, it's been pretty fucking good. Hey, what's up, Nick? I wanted to ask if I resin printed this. Yes, this is a resin print from, I used a M3 Premium, an Anycubic M3 Premium. It's an 8K printer. It's really, really nice. I also, that's a really great printer. Like, I really love it. The detail, like, I mean, it really, really kicks out the detail. Like, really, really nice. And it holds like 2 kilograms of resin, which is fantastic. And yeah, I love that machine. Resin all the way, baby. Now, if I was doing like cosplay or something, I would go FDM. But for like big life-size stuff, or, you know, whatever. But for statues, resin all the way. Even the base is resin. Some people do an FDM base and then you know, do a character in resin. But not me. Oh, nice! Congratulations. 8-month-olds are, you know, it's a little tough at the very beginning, but let me tell you, man, once they start getting some legs underneath them, they start moving around, and it's a lot of fun. I feel like my time with my kid went by way too fast. Oh, how's the Anycubic Viper? I heard it does pretty well. Like, now when I started with an FDM printer, you know, it was a few years ago, and so I know that things have improved, and so maybe they've just gotten really, really good. But whenever I was FDM printing, man, the layer lines would just make me absolutely nuts, and the amount of post-production work that you had to do, you know, to get them smooth, also just drove me nuts. And so, yeah, I stepped away from FDM printing after about 3 months, because I just realized I was not into it. I don't even think I sold my print. I think I just gave it away to a friend in Texas. He's like, I'll take it, man. All right, there you go. I just realized I went on a little ramble there, didn't I? covered a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sure that would look fine once I'm going to run some panel liner down in here anyway, but clean that up a little bit. Take that all out. Definitely gonna have to touch that up. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I mean, that was from when I was beginning, I also felt the same. Like I felt like I was wasting material, but um, as I've grown into the hobby, like I realized that the waste products sometimes with failed prints, it just comes with the territory. I mean, it's just one of those things that like even when you have your printer perfectly dialed in, you know, if you make a support like a orientation mistake, then I mean you still get a waste, you know, you still get a misprint. So it's like shit's gonna just continue to happen. I wouldn't get too hung up on it. Don't let it deter you from printing, I guess, because there's always going to be an amount of waste that comes along with this. I don't know why I'm agonizing over this. Nobody's going to see it. I'll know it's there. You'll know it's there. Nobody else will know. Take it easy, Steve. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I thought about doing a video on how to orient and how to use lychee and how to orient your prints, and you know, the understanding, I think, the science behind what's going on in your printer it helps me better anticipate print failures and orientation. And so I thought about making a video to cover that, but again, I feel like I'm just pontificating on something that I just have no business talking about. You know, I don't think I'm any sort of resident expert or subject matter expert or anything, so it feels weird talking about it, because I can show you what works for me. Is it the best way to do it? I don't know. Is it, you know, it works, yes, but I guarantee you a lot of the feedback I'd get is that I over support my prints. Like I use way too many supports, but I would rather have too many supports than have a bunch of failed prints too. So, and even then, even with the abundance of supports that I make, I still get a few failures every now and then. Like recently on this Mr. Freeze statue, he's got all these hoses and stuff sticking off of his armor, off of his suit, and one of the hoses misprinted because, you know, it starts off as an island floating out in the middle of nowhere, and it's expected to hold a bunch of weight. And so yeah, sometimes I messed up, and so I end up reprinting a little piece of the hose so that I can do some repair work later. But yeah, it's just part of the territory, you know. You just make your mistakes and learn from them and move on. Learning how to use the little slice function in lychee was a game changer. I was so happy when that came out, because like I said, like for this Mr. Freeze thing, I just went back to the original model and found the piece that misprinted, a little chunk, sliced it out and reprinted it, and it's just like a teeny tiny little hose, just like, you know, nothing. But it was either that or I had to resculpt it, with putty. Again, wouldn't have been a big deal. It's a pretty simple shape, but wanted to just reprint it, so. Blacken this inset out, it's turned into quite a job. Didn't think about having to go so far. Alright, now I just gotta get up in there and be done with it. Thanks, Steve. This should be the final bit of black I need to lay in here. It sure would be nice if I could get a better angle on it. It is what it is. Alright, well, that's as good as that needs to be. Nobody's gonna care. Alright, got it. That looks much better. Adding this black in here. Just make sure I got all the, oh, totally missed that whole inside panel. Look at that. Come on, Bobby. What are you even doing? You're just running your mouth, jabbering like a monkey in a tree. Totally missing on parts you're supposed to be painting. Oh, I think my resin just arrived. I got some clear resin so I can finish printing Mr. Freeze. It was all out. And he's got ice and got too many cool transparent parts. I was gonna do some alcohol ink and just tint the entire batch clear, but I forgot that he has a helmet and stuff too, and I don't want those to be the same color as the ice cubes or the ice crystals, so I'm just going to print everything totally transparent, and then I'll paint the crystals with alcohol ink. Oh, all right, I've been at this a little over 2 hours. I was gonna say, I feel like it's
About time for a health and safety break. Finish up the last of this black here. Black was a little patchy still. That's gold. Make sure I got all the black. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. It looks much better. Much better. I'll run some panel liner in there. I wonder if that little spot right there needs to be black. Looks like it should be. If I black that out, then I gotta black that out too. Yeah, we'll leave it. Like that, maybe that inset right there needs to be black. If I do that, I have to chase it all the way down, and I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I'll leave that. Would help that stand out a little bit, though. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Fuck it. A little bit more.
since this armor isn't an exact duplicate of the movie armor, I'm going to take some liberties. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. That helps break up this big ass chunk of golden armor right here. There's way more black on his armor than I initially thought. I watched Endgame, or I got Infinity War and Endgame a couple times just to kind of pause and review his armor at different, positions and rotations and stuff. And yeah, there's definitely a lot more black than what I was initially thinking. I wonder if this. I wonder if this outer trim also needs it, but that connects in a weird place. So I'm not going to do that. But doing this inset is a pretty good idea. Stop pushing my brush down so hard. I'm not trying to engrave something. Should just be lightly dragging over top of it. I bear down a little hard sometimes. Again, no reason, just bad technique.
live and we learn. We hit that one more time on the other side. All right. That looks better. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. The rest of that's good. All right, so I'm going to take a health and safety break, stretch my legs, get some water. Then I will come back and give a quick re-inspection of the black to make sure I don't need to do anything else, and then move on to painting the gold. I got gold on there, I got gold on there, a little tan bit on there. Yeah, all right. Break, I'll be right back.
right, and we're back. Let's get that stuff out of the way here. Make sure nothing else needs color. These little inset vents, just on that one side. Do I want to gold those out? Kinda. Nah, leave them. Tips, all the edges, all the inside. I think that whole thing needs to be chrome. If it's going to be chrome, it first needs to be black. My light back. Technically, that should be gold as well, but no, maybe not. That's fine. Nobody's going to see the inside of that. Where's my music? Oh, there it is. Okie dokie. I think that will do. Oh, I hit some sides here. go ahead and paint that the little comfort band there. It's like a, I'll use leather brown. That'll be too brown. It should be more like a sand, like a tan brown. That's deck tan. Well, brown sand. That should be perfect. It's like a light tan color, like a light tan leather almost. Gotta start remembering to mark my bottles as I'm using them. Alright, finally. Something other than black for a change. I'm just doing this for my own mental health. Because that was a lot of black. Now maybe I should have painted this black too, so it wouldn't have such a shiny base. But actually, no. Actually, once I get a couple coats on here, looks like it's gonna cover. Yeah, it's covering just fine. And then I'll wash it a little bit so it's not so bright. I wonder if I could get a job working for like Sideshow or one of the studios. Not as like a main guy, that like decides what colors to paint things, but like as one of the production guys whose job it is to like take what one of the other guys says to how like follow their color scheme or follow their paint job or whatever. Or you're just like a duplicator, you know what I mean? I bet I could do that job. I feel like I have a pretty decent resume. But I think they're based out of Texas or something. The fuck if I'm moving to Texas? No offense to any Texas. I'm just saying it's too hot. Hi. What's up? What's up, honey? I've just been on here rambling.
painting the inside of this. I'm gonna see just the outer edge of it, I think. Check 1 2. All right, there it goes. My mic died. Had to switch over.
All right, gang. Well, I'm gonna have to end this stream at the moment, and I will jump back on probably later tonight. We'll see what happens, but I gotta jump. So catch you next time.